Author's Hour, Creative Conversations. Basically, this is a podcast for authors to learn what works, what doesn't work when it comes to writing, editing, publishing, and the promotion of their published works. It started off as me just giving tips to authors in 2019 on how to write a book a year. And then it grew to the 99 Author Project by 2022. And today I am joined by a very dear friend and a wonderful author by the name of Dr. Doreen Downing. Not only is she a psychologist and a public anxiety, well, I'm sorry, let me say that again, public speaking, there we go, public speaking anxiety expert. With her 7 secrets to essentially speaking, find your voice, change your life. She helps people speak without fear. She offers individual and group coaching, hosts her own podcast, and has had me as a guest. And you can find videos filled with public speaking tips on her YouTube channel, which will be clicking on over here above us in just a bit. Anyway, lovely to have you on the show. Thank you for being with us, Dr. Doreen.
Oh, Janine, it's always so much fun. Every time I'm with you, I learn something. You're just a storehouse, a wealth of information. Thank you. So I know I'm going to share about my book, but I know that I'm going to walk away learning something from you too.
It can't not happen when you get 2 authors on that have published multiple books like you and I have, that we just have experience. And so anything that you share about that would be fabulous. So first off, let's talk about the fact you're having a birthday and you're birthing a book. So talk to us about this. It's very exciting.
It is. The book actually came out on Amazon, and so there wasn't an official launch. And I thought, well, why not just celebrate that it's out on my birthday, August 24th? And I'm going to be doing a Zoom birthday celebration. And I already have over 50 people coming from, and it's I called it a global book launch and birthday celebration. And it's California time at noon.
There
So
you go. Yeah, excellent stuff. Well, talk to us a little bit about this speaking in fear, because one of the things I loved about your podcast, which by the way, I highly encourage you, jump over to Dr. Doreen's channel. We'll have links below. We'll have a card going by on the top here. But I really want you to stop in and see this, because on her podcast, she comes off as very soft and very kind and speaks very softly. And the next thing you know, you have people spilling their guts out on her show about things that have changed their life. And you're like, whoa. So fascinating stuff. Talk to us about what inspires you to even start this whole process.
Well, I think that way back when I was the oldest girl taking care of my little sister while my mother was in and out of hospitals for depression, I just naturally became somebody who was probably able to manage stress and to provide as much safety as I could, like for my little sister. And somehow just that grew in me, and I became a psychologist. It went all the way through PhD at Berkeley. And so having a doctorate, it just felt like I love providing an environment where people can go deep within themselves and tap into, for me, it's the best part. And that's why my book is called Essential Speaking. It's the essence of who you are. And that's what I help people find, is the core strength, the essence, the spirit, if you want to go deeply, the soul of who you are. So that's where my love is, in helping people discover this voice that's within them.
And the other thing that was wonderful is you ask people, when did you lose your voice and when did you gain it back? And then I have listened to a few of your episodes where you're actually coaching people on the podcast. And that's why they kind of just start telling you their life story, because all of a sudden they do feel safe. You've given them that safety, and they do start talking about and so I always tease people. I'm like, have you cleared your own internal shadows? Because if you haven't, Dr. Doreen will have you doing that on the show, not by force either. It's like just the way you ask the questions, you see people clear them. So talk to us a little bit about your 7 steps that you run through. Yeah.
Well, I think maybe that's what shows up in my conversations with people, is my own ability to do the first step, which is be silent. And what does that have to do with speaking? Well, I think that too much of this goes on in life, Janine, rather, just chat, 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 talk, 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 and stick to a script. And I just feel like inside of us, there's so much more richness, and we have to be still. We have to still that crazy mind chatter. We have to learn how to, and I know you have encouraged me to come back to meditation, which I am doing. And that's one way I do it, but I don't tell people how to be silent, how to find it, because there's nature, there's other ways in which people can. I mean, some people do it through exercise, getting rid of stress. But so learning to still your body in the middle of stress, or just about to step into something real stressful like speaking publicly. How do you take that deep breath? Of course, breath is always one technique. I mean, across the board, I think some kind of breathing. You don't have to do count backwards to 10. I do that. I like to do that. But you have so many options out there to learn how to, it's just basically stress reduction. So the first is be still. And I think that where I go inside of myself when I listen to people is a stillness, an expansive space of opening up to being. And the second step is be present. And you notice that I said, be silent, be present. All the 7 secrets are about being. It's not about speaking. And that's what my whole thrust is, and how come I think I'm so different than other coaches who help you make better speeches.
It reminds me of when I was taking elocution lessons, because I had a very interesting accent because I was raised in not America, in with my dad being in the military. And so I remember taking elocution lessons, and it was very much the practice and how you mold the words, how you hold your mouth, that sort of thing. And one of the things I do enjoy very much about your channel is all the little tips and tricks that you give. And it all is about, like you said, staying present in the moment. You could even say, how to stay in the now, because that's what keeps you out of that panic, that fight or flight that some of us can get into
Yeah.
when we're about ready to step out on a stage of some kind, whether it's Zoom or
Uh-huh.
whether it's a physical stage with you've got 89 people in the audience. Yeah.
Right. And so it's, to me, confidence is more about knowing how to manage stress when it starts to take hold. And a lot of people that I work with say that they feel like they're going out of control and they're overwhelmed by anxiety. And just imagine, knowing that you have tools inside of your body. It's not like, oh, I can make a better speech. It's like, I know how to change my state of being and drop down. And that's why you're saying this kind of sense of me being kind of a gentle person that creates safety for people. And you're right. My podcast is a little like, I go into it almost like I do any therapy session.
It's you lull them with that warm water, and little do they know, it's not really that you're cranking up the heat. It's just they're going into that
Ooh,
quiet place of themselves. And the next thing they
ah,
know, things are bubbling up. Yeah.
ooh, I like the way you just reframed that. What people
Hmm.
can do is dropping down into their own quiet space so
Hmm.
that they can, well, the third, I'll just say what the third secret is to be aware. And that has to do, and this has to do with eyes. That has to do with softening the eyes. And when you soften your eyes, your cheek starts to drop down, right? And your shoulders drop just by noticing. And so any of our listeners, if they could just right now soften their eyes.
Hmm.
Oh, it helps me take a breath. And then the fourth one is all about listening. Be listening. Be attuned is what I say, but it's all about learning how to listen in this brand new way. I'm not listening to what people, I listen to the spaces that they, and I hear what they aren't saying. So
It is truly like reading between the lines in a book. Like I had a reader come to me and say, okay, so I read your book XYZ and was very excited about it, blah, blah, blah. And the next thing I know is like, but Janine, I want to learn all about the things you didn't share in the book. And
oh,
I was like, well, that's why we have the workshops and that sort of thing, is where I share things that I didn't want to put on record. So
yeah,
yes, you're absolutely right. Sometimes the silence is just as loud as what people are not saying. Mhm.
right, right.
Definitely helps. So how can people get a hold of you if they want to get to know you a little bit more? We've been mentioning the YouTube channel, which will go, the channel will go by here on the end card, but what do you recommend they do as far as looking for your book?
Well, I think that what I'd like to suggest, because I've already started this journey into what my 7 secrets are, and there's several more, and people can learn about all of them by going to Doreen7secrets.com. Doreen, and I don't know if people are just listening, but that's Doreen, Doreen7secrets.com. And that way they'll instantly get a download, and actually it can become a bookmark. So if they go to Amazon and get my book too, or my website, essentialspeaking.com, is also a place where they can get a book.
And one of the things I'm very excited about is Dr. Doreen is a part of our 99 Authors Project, which is book number 12 for me. She's put her wisdom into that book as well, how to help authors with their marketing. And so you'll see her starting to pop up on that playlist on our channel as well. So she's kind of scattered about here on our channel. We highly recommend that you look at all the videos that she has contributed to us on this journey that we have. So thanks so much for your time today, Dr. Doreen. Is there any last golden nugget you wish to share with us before we go?
Just the message again that it's not about, if you do have speaking anxiety, it's not about learning how to make a better speech or be a better performer. What my work is about is helping people find what's true inside of them, the precious strength that needs to come out. Today I talked to somebody and she said bold, brilliant, beautiful, and that's the kind of what I see inside of people, and that's what I help. Here's another B, blossom.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time today. And for you folks that are listening, please feel free to stop by our website at authorpodcasting.com. And if you're an author or you know of an author, please send them to the 99 Authors Project. I'd love to be able to put them in my next book. And for that, we will close out today, and we highly recommend pop on over to Doreen's channel as well and get those 7 secrets to public speaking, right?
Well, to essential speaking, so that you could speak anywhere, including in public. And in public is kind of everywhere, isn't it? Even just you and I right now, we're speaking, even though it's one-on-one. So yes, essential speaking, and it shows up. Your capacity to speak from the essence of who you are shows up everywhere you go. There you are.
And there you have it.